These are healthy vegan protein muffins that have no oil, no refined sugar, and no gluten. I'm going to first start with the base recipe, which is my banana walnut recipe, and then I'm going to show you how you can actually change up the flavors to make whatever you want. I like to eat these as a snack in between meals, as a pre-workout snack, or even for breakfast paired with some fresh fruit. So let's jump in to this recipe. We are going to get started with mixing the dry ingredients first. So I'm taking some dried mulberries and blending this into a very fine powder. This is going to be our main sugar replacement. It tastes a lot like light brown sugar to me, and the texture when it's ground up feels like brown sugar. Next, I'm going to be adding in some garbanzo bean flour, aka chickpea flour, and some rolled oats, but I'm going to grind this up first into a flour. You could do quick oats, rolled oats, and then adding some baking powder, some cinnamon, and some nutmeg, also salt. And then I'm going to thoroughly blend this together and set it aside. And then next we'll be mixing our wet ingredients together. Now, I already know some of you are going to be grossed out by this, but we are going to be taking a can of garbanzo beans and we are separating the two, making sure to save the liquid from the can because we are going to be using that. It's called aquafaba. I'm just going to measure out what I need for this recipe, save the rest. Aquafaba is going to be like our egg replacement and also provides a lot of moisture for these muffins. So I'm adding this to a blender and I'm also going to be adding the garbanzo beans. Yeah, we're doing it. So next I'm going to be adding a couple of bananas and blending this all together. And if you make this, I dare you to try just the liquid part of this batter. It is so yummy. It's just like a banana cream shake. It's honestly really good. Like I could eat that as a smoothie. I know that's probably super gross to some of you. But anyway, so now we're going to mix the wet and dry ingredients together to get a nice thick batter. And it's basically done from here. We just have to bake it next. I've got my muffin tin already. I'm just using these silicone cups. I'm not oiling these at all, even if I use paper cups, which I actually meant to buy more of these. These are the little muffin cups that I like to use, and it's by If You Care. This batter does not stick to the lining, so it just does not need to be oiled. So I'm just going to fill those all up and then top it off with some walnuts. And then I'm just going to pop it in the oven at 350 degrees for 25 minutes. Once that's done, take it out, let it cool for about 10 minutes before digging in. And here is the recipe with all the ingredient amounts, and you can screenshot this and save it. These muffins are also good the next day, so they last a few days. And here are the nutrition facts. Just in case you're curious, each little muffin has 8 grams of protein. They are fairly low in sugar, only 10 grams per muffin. And most of the fat comes from the walnuts. And here's an example of how to change up the recipe for a different flavor. So this is a blueberry muffin batter that I'm making right now. I didn't add any spices and I'm just adding a teaspoon of lemon zest. The other difference is that I'm only using a 1/4 cup of aquafaba because I'm adding in the frozen blueberries. You can use fresh as well. And it's going to be a little bit drier, but because the blueberries have water content in them, when you bake them, it moistens the whole muffin. So when I use the whole 1/2 cup of aquafaba, it's way too moist and it just doesn't taste very good. Another option is I'm just adding some apple slices in a couple of them. So you can really just change up the flavor however you want. If you add more fresh or frozen fruit, just make sure to adjust the liquid portions. I kept the bananas in there the same amount because we want that sugar content. Otherwise, it's just not sweet enough. And with these more fruit-based muffins, we want to cook them an extra 5 minutes, so a total of 30 minutes at 350 degrees Fahrenheit. The nutrition facts are also going to be different for these more fruit-based muffins because without the walnuts, we're lowering the fat content and also lowering the protein content a little bit. But if you wanted to, you could still add some walnuts to these more fruit-based ones, or you can do something different like add hemp seeds or sunflower seeds. And by adding different seeds and nuts, you're still keeping the protein content fairly high and also keeping the fat content up just a little bit to make it a more balanced, satisfying snack.